Kyousuke is a 16-year-old talent from Spirit Academy who is becoming increasingly well known. I will analyze his playstyle on Mirage, in a Faceit match where he completely dominated the enemy team. In this video, I will present very important details from Kyousuke's playstyle. These details will help you become a much better player. Many things I show you here can even be applied in solo queue. Let's start with a simple but effective trick that you can use to gain an early advantage for your team. The terrorist smoke window and take mid control. Kyousuke extinguishes the terrorist molotov in the connector, pulls out a flash, right clicks and runs through the smoke. This allows him to kill two blinded terrorists before he dies. Kyousuke throws the flash behind him, so he doesn't need to turn away and can peek immediately. Notice that his teammate on catwalk also throws flashes on mid and peeks to support Kyousuke. This allows him to refrag his teammate, leaving only two terrorists alive. Thanks to Kyousuke's 2 entry frags, the cities win the round. Let me show you another way to throw a connector smoke. Kyousuke aims at this spot and left clicks while running. Then he waits for the smoke to extinguish the molotov and peeks from behind the smoke. Notice how Kyousuke peeks gradually. First he checks the close position on the left, then the top of mid. He spots a terrorist near the boxes and starts shooting. The opponent hides in the smoke. At this moment, Kyousuke notices another terrorist close to the connector. He performs a beautiful flick and kills the opponent. Let's look at the terrorist POV. He didn't expect Kyousuke to be in this position. Notice Kyousuke's movement. After spotting the terrorist at the top of mid, he doesn't stand still but strays sideways to be a harder target to hit. Kyousuke accidentally presses jump and ends up dying. I will show you another detail that the cities did at the start of the round. Kyousuke throws a nade off the wall. His teammate on catwalk also throws a grenade to the same spot. As you can see, Foveli loses 43 HP. This is a great counter to terrorists rushing connector at the start of the round. Mid control is very important on Mirage, so I will show you another way to surprise terrorists there. Kyousuke has the best spawn for A. At the start of the round, he once again throws a smoke to the connector. Unlike previous rounds, this time he doesn't flash, but immediately pushes through the connector. He positioned himself on the left side of the smoke, expecting a terrorist to run towards the boxes. Let's look at Nicola's POV at this moment. He hears an opponent running through underpass. He likely informs Kyousuke, who immediately changes position, checks underpass, and kills the terrorist who doesn't even have time to react. Now let's see the opponent's POV at top mid. As you can see, Skyforal couldn't spot Kyousuke behind the smoke. It's worth mentioning that the city on catwalk threw a flash towards top mid, forcing Skyforal to hide behind the boxes while Kyousuke got the frag. This minimizes the chances of Kyousuke dying. As you can see, the smoke next to the connector offers many possibilities because you can check both mid and underpass while being hard to spot. After getting the entry frag, Kyousuke positions himself behind the smoke and watches top mid, expecting a terrorist to peek to refrag his teammate. Nicolas exchanged fire with an opponent behind the boxes. At this moment, Kyousuke rushes top mid and spots a terrorist on the left. After taking a few shots, Kyousuke crouches and aims at the boxes on the right, expecting the second terrorist to peek there to support his teammate. Kyousuke demonstrates excellent full auto control and gets another frag. Let's look at the opponent's POV. Because Kyousuke crouches, Skyforal doesn't have Crosshair on his head and has to flick. Then Kyousuke quickly moves to the left and does a wide peek. By changing position, he gets the third frag. As you can see, Foveli was surprised by the peek and had to make a flick. You must remember that this strategy doesn't always work. In round 28, Kyousuke rushed the connector and died. As you can see, his teammate threw poor flashes, as the terrorist on catwalk was blinded only for a fraction of a second. Additionally, his teammate from B was late to catwalk and couldn't refrag Kyousuke. Therefore, if you want this tactic to succeed, you need good mid flashes from teammates and at least one friend on short or in the window to support you. Additionally, it's important for the player on catwalk to communicate and say whether he hears a terrorist in underpass. You also need to remember one more thing. If you try to rush connector every round, the terrorist will start shooting the smoke and kill you. Now I will show you how to separate duels. During the 27th round, the terrorists are in 2v5 situation. Kyousuke is aiming at the stairs. A counter-terrorist wide peeks. In this situation, most players would flick and stay still. Instead, Kyousuke only presses A on the keyboard and doesn't move his mouse. As a result, he only needs to click the left mouse button and gets a beautiful one-tap headshot. Now pay attention to how he checks positions. Kyousuke doesn't white pick because the city could be in multiple spots on A side. Instead, he gradually picks and checks one position at a time. Moreover, his crosshair is always at head level, so he doesn't need to do any unnecessary hand movements. Additionally, as you can see, Kyousuke uses his mouse only for big movements, such as flicking from stairs to fireboxes. For micro adjustments, he uses A and D on the keyboard, so he is constantly moving, precise and saving his right hand from fatigue. At this moment, he spots a city on default. Once again he stops for just a fraction of a second to shoot the opponent. He fires only 2 bullets and takes out the city. Kyousuke kills 2 counter-terrorists on A side and then checks positions like city or jungle, expecting another enemy there. He aims at jungle, spots a city and gets another beautiful frag. Let's look at the opponent's POV. Because Kyousuke is constantly moving, the sniper misses the shot and dies. After killing 3 cities, Kyousuke doesn't see or hear any remaining enemies. He assumes they are probably holding the bomb at spawn. A city peeks from palace and Kyousuke lands a headshot. The last city starts shooting at him. Once again, because Kyousuke is constantly moving, Lixian misses the first few shots, has to flick and dies. He also made a mistake by crouching and not moving sideways. Cities should have played this round better. The bomb was on T-spawn, an open area where Kyousuke couldn't hide. Lixian had a great position, with only his head visible. When Laxeri heard Kyousuke running, he should have stayed in palace and wait for Kyousuke to move into the open area. Then both cities should have picked together and take him out. As you can see, the city made a mistake by picking one by one. As a result, Kyousuke had 5 1v1 duels. The key to winning clutches is separating each duel. That way you have the best chance of success. Also remember to keep moving. Interestingly, Kyousuke needed only 15 bullets to get an ace. Now I will show you an interesting position that surprised Kyousuke. Skyforal intentionally throws a weak molotov on ramp to bait the terrorists into peeking through the flames. Later in the video, I will explain how to throw it correctly. Then the city positions himself next to fireboxes on the left side and crouches. Kyousuke takes the bait, peeks through the flames and tries to surprise the city. He doesn't expect Skyforal to be there and gets killed. A few rounds later, the city intentionally throws again this weak molotov and sets up in the same off angle. This time Kyousuke demonstrates excellent movement and kills Skyforal. As you can see, this is a high risk, high reward position. If you miss your first few shots, you lose the element of surprise and the terrorists will kill you. Here is my advice: don't overuse this trick, as opponents will start anticipating it. I recommend using this off angle no more than twice in a single match. Just remember to leave a significant gap between the rounds when you use it. Let's move on to puffing and separating duels on B during the pistol round. Terrorists rush B and secure an entry frag. Kyousuke is positioned near the car. At that moment, a smoke lands in the market window. Notice that Kyousuke doesn't run to exit through this side, but decides to cross through the middle of the bomb site. This way, he doesn't have to worry about being spotted by a city from the exit because the wall covers him. Additionally, the city in the window also can't see him because there is a smoke. Furthermore, when he is in the middle of the site, he and his teammate jump to make it harder for a city on catwalk to hit him. If Kyousuke decided to jump across from the other side, the city from exit could spot and kill him. Let me show you how to get an entry frag on eco round. Kyousuke has a deagle, positions himself on the right side of the window and crouches. Pay attention to his crosshair placement. He doesn't put the crosshair directly at the edge of the blue wall, but leaves some space because he knows the terrorists will pick white. As you can see, he secures an entry frag for his team and immediately changes position. Thanks to good crosshair placement, Kyousuke only presses the left mouse button and didn't need to make a flick shot. Let's look at the opponent's POV. He didn't even have time to fire a shot. Additionally, this position has the advantage of keeping most of your head hidden behind the wall, making it harder for terrorists to hit you. Moreover, after getting a frag, you can quickly retreat. But that's not the end of the round. The terrorist threw a weak smoke into the window. Kyousuke waits for the grenade to explode and shift walks to the left side. He uses the gap in the smoke, catches perfect timing, and kills the opponent entering the connector. So, when you see that the terrorist threw a poorly placed smoke to the left, take advantage of their mistake. Also remember to always throw precise smokes into the window, because a bad smoke can cost you the round. Let me show you some grenades that Kyousuke throws. They are easy to remember and very effective. They will definitely make playing on Mirage easier for you. Let's start from the city side. I will show you a very simple way to destroy a window smoke. The terrorists have thrown an insta-smoke. Kyousuke positions himself in front of the column, aims at the ceiling, right-clicks, and jumps onto the wooden bench. As you can see, a large part of the smoke is destroyed. The advantage of this lineup is that it breaks all smokes, even those landing at the back wall of the window. Using this grenade, you can surprise the terrorist and get many easy frags. While we are talking about HE grenades, I have one more simple lineup for you. Kyousuke positions himself in the corner, aims at that spot, and left clicks when the crosshair hits the roof. The grenade explodes on the ramp. It's worth throwing this when the Molotov on ramp is burning out, because that's when the terrorists might start approaching. Now I will show you how to correctly throw a Molotov onto the ramp. You might think, what's so hard about throwing a Molotov onto the ramp? Let me explain it to you. Kyousuke aims at that spot, left clicks as he passes the rockets on his left side. Molotovs in CS work so that the peak of the flame is in its center. This knowledge is used when throwing a Molotov at the ramp, because the Molotov bounces off the wall and its highest point ends up in this spot. Let's look at the terrorist POV. As you can see, due to the high flames, Poveli couldn't see if Kyousuke ran to the connector. Another advantage of this lineup is that the Molotov burns the entire ramp, so the terrorist can't rush through the flames without losing a lot of HP. However, remember that the opponent can still spray through the Molotov while you are running. You're probably wondering if a sniper can see anything. During the 9th round, Kyousuke threw this Molotov again. Shadow couldn't see anything. He fired a shot through the flames and changed position. Now let's move on to terrorist side. During the 17th round, the terrorists rushed top mid. Kyousuke threw a flash behind the boxes. His teammate did the same. Then Kyousuke peeked from the left side of the smoke and easily killed a rushing city. Let's look at his POV. When Lixian saw the flash coming, he tried to turn away from it. That split second decided his death. The biggest advantage of these flashes is that they don't blind your teammates and allow the terrorists to pick mid instantly. These simple flashes are perfect counter to cities rushing mid at the start of the round. Remember to throw several grenades. Even if the opponent manages to turn away from one flash, he will be hit by the next one. Since we are on top mid, let me show you another grenade. Kyousuke positions himself in the corner, aims at that spot and left clicks. As you can see, the smoke lands on the stairs and covers the entire connector. This lineup has several advantages. It's very easy to remember, and most importantly, you don't have to go back to T-spawn to throw it. Since you are standing in the corner, the city in the window can't spot and kill you. This smoke makes taking mid much easier and adds a tactical variation to the terrorist side. Thank you for watching until the end. Click on the video on the screen to watch Dongs or Zyus analysis. Write in the comments which pro player you'd like to see in the next video and on which map. See you in the next one. Bye!